How you doing tonight? We're called Remedy Drive. We're glad to be in Oregon this evening. What's it like before these arguments and opinions? What's it like before this paradise is drowning sound? sing together at the top of our lungs. Here we go. Whoa. Come on, baby. All of my impulses in vain. Is there a pulse left in my veins? Not much left to go on. Seems like I'm too far gone. Or can you bring me back again? Whoa. Resuscitate me! And mouth to mouth and bring me around. Breathe life into me when I'm on the ground. I'm beat up but not defeated. Burning not defeated. I'm out cold but I still hear your sound. But I'm not a lost cause. I might be lost, but I'm not a lost cause. Might be lost, but I'm not a lost cause. Might be lost, but I'm not a lost cause. How's everybody doing tonight? It's good to be here.
Show me, 'cause
Your love is keeping me awake tonight. Your love saved my life. Thank you so much. You're still doing all right tonight? My name's David. I come from Nebraska. On my left, from the state of Florida, is Corey Horn on the bass guitar. Come on, Corey. I'm from the state of Washington. Jack Espinosa on the drums. Jack? Jackie boy. It's good to be here. We flew out of Nashville, Tennessee this morning. Flew to Denver, which was pretty. I didn't get to see all the creeper murals in the airport though, because we had to catch another flight over here. Got a good picture of one of those peaks with snow on it still, I think. And then we met some really wonderful Oregonians. Is that how you say it? Ate some really good food. Had a green machine juice for dinner, and some fried avocados to balance it out.
I'm too hungry.
Thanks for coming.
I can go get some.
It's not everything it seems. The world and its dreams slipping like water through my hands tonight. All the things I thought would fill me up inside left me empty. And now I know why. All along I was looking for something else. You're something else. All along I was looking for something more. You're so much more. I finally found what I could never see before. You've always been the one that I was looking for. All of the castles in the sand washed away again, and I'm left right where I began. Tonight, the only thing that can ever fill me up has been right in front of me all the time. All along, I was looking for something else. You're something else. All along, I was looking for something more. You're so much more. I finally found what I could never see before. You've always been the one that I was looking for. And then I wanna miss you. I wanna miss you. This time. Say I want you. I want you. Thank you. A few of you knew that song. Thanks for singing. Another couple things about Oregon for us. It's been a little bit of a different day. Corey got to hold a parrot or a parakeet or something like that. And I had a bearded dragon that had some skin-to-skin time with. He clawed up my chest, though. Do you guys see him? He's about this long. One of the guys in another band has a bearded dragon here. It's like looks like a lizard. I would have thought it was a lizard, but it's a dragon. I'm not kidding you. It actually is a dragon. I have scratch marks on my chest from it. Thanks for hanging out. This night turned out to be so nice. Let's hear it for Ben over here and Dave up there and all the guys that put up the sound and lights for doing such a wonderful job for us. Ken doing video work. All the volunteers making food, put up all this stuff in the park. Let's hear it for everybody that organized this event and for making it such a special night. I'm excited because it's been like a year since we've actually been at an event where Exodus Road is also here. Make sure to go up and talk at the top of the hill to Nikki about what the Exodus Road is doing, how you can help, how you can be part of it. 3 years ago, this man from Colorado Springs named Matt Parker came to Nashville to talk to me about what the Exodus Road is doing. And that last song, All Along, I wrote that song maybe 7 years ago. And he had heard that song on the radio, so he heard about our band that way. And I sat across from the table from Matt, and he says, hey, we go into brothels, we go into the red light districts around the world, especially in Southeast Asia and India, and we find evidence of girls being sold by the hour. We get actionable evidence of it with covert gear, and then we partner with authorities to rescue these girls and these boys. And as Matt talked to me about it, he wanted us to talk from stage about what the Exodus Road does. Something inside my heart was tugged at. In a way, maybe you felt a similar tug today as we talk about it. There's an organization from right here in Oregon up there. And there's something about slavery that is just so distasteful. There's something in me that rises up when I see boys at the age of 8 or 7 or 10 carrying AK-47s into conflict when they're supposed to be playing or at school in Uganda. And I watched a documentary with my daughter a few months before I met with Matt from the Exodus Road, and my daughter was 5 at the time. We watched this documentary on boy soldiers and about the girls, their sisters being sold and given to generals to be the child brides of generals. And Ava, a 5-year-old at the time, said, Dad, why not God protect those children? And I don't have any sort of cliche or platitude for you to answer that. And I tweeted it. Hey, my daughter just said to me, why doesn't God do anything about this? And the tweet that came back from a 16-year-old girl in Michigan, she said, I feel like asking God the same question. Why don't you do something about this injustice? You have the power, you have the ability. Aren't you sovereign? Aren't you good? And yet I feel like his answer might come in the form of a question, the same question right back to me. And you think about what you have and what I have. I have this platform. We have this rock and roll band. We have 6 strings. We got our vocal cords. And something has moved in our hearts. We want to use this platform. We want to use our influence, the currency of our time, the currency of our art. Everything within our sphere of influence, we're using it to tell the story of a girl from the countryside of Southeast Asia that's being sold by the hour every day of her life. To guys that come to that part of the world to take advantage of girls for like $60, the equivalent of $60 USD. And when Matt talked to me, I said, Matt, I don't want to just talk about what you're doing. So for the last 3 years, I've been going with Matt and other undercover operatives. Some of them are volunteer, like me, we volunteer. Some of them are contract guys from around the world that go fly over and are hired by the Exodus Road to do this work, and others are nationals from the countries that we're in. I got to meet the leader of the team in India this last trip 2 months ago. So I've been to that part of the world 6 times now. And in the Exodus Road, we just go into these places. We pretend to be bad guys. We sit down with these precious girls. They're maybe 15 or 14 or 16 or 18. And I ask her, where are you from? And she says, I'm from Isan. She says, where are you from? I say, I'm from America. And I love the way she says America. She says America. And there's a defiance in her eyes, even though she's stuck in this. She's so sweet, she's so precious. And her hair falls over her shoulder with the elegance of a woman, and yet she has that tenderness of a child still. She smiles like a child. She smiles like my 8-year-old daughter. And it's hard to keep up the pretense with seeing what we see. She's just some poor farmer's daughter. And nobody in the world gives a care about some poor farmer's daughter from the hill country of Southeast Asia. But I care about her. I want to introduce you to her. I want to tell you her story. I want to tell you about what she's doing every day. It's 10 hours difference. What is it, 10 o'clock here? So she might still be out on the streets in Southeast Asia tonight. And this is all she knows. Through some act of coercion or force or manipulation, this girl is part of a mass migration of poor girls from the countryside to the big cities. And there's a tourism industry specifically for this kind of slavery, where men from Australia or Russia or America or England or Japan go there because it's inexpensive and it's relatively safe to spend an hour or two with a minor girl or a minor boy. And there's girls that I met from Uganda, girls from Kenya, girls from Brazil, and they're shipped here. There's Russian mafias that bring them there. I spent a lot of time hanging out with Russian mobsters and Australian motorcycle gangsters. And then the local mob, the local cartels and crime syndicates. And it seems like the fight isn't making any difference. What can a few guys and girls, one little rock band, one kid from Nebraska with his best friend from Florida, can we really tear a corner off the darkness? Can my voice break through the noise and take her cause? And as audacious and naive as it sounds, I believe the answer is yes. Because my fingerprints are unique. Your fingerprints are unique. No one else has your fingerprints. No one else has your vocal cords. And you can use your vocal cords for this girl, for those boys, for freedom, for justice. Tonight at 110 decibels, and maybe something with the song starts in our hearts. This cry for freedom, this cry to partake in freedom, this privilege that is not exceeded by any other privilege of being human, to participate in the freedom of another human being. That's a big deal. Whether it's in Thailand or Cambodia or Uganda or Brazil, or whether it's a street kid from Salem, Oregon, United States of America, you have something to offer to the cause of justice. You have something to offer to the cause of freedom. You have something to offer to the cause of mercy. And to follow the King of the universe has to do with this. To be uniquely involved in whatever your way is, because no one else has your camera lens. No one else has your dance. This girl from Des Moines, Iowa, she ran a 10K or a 5K in stiletto high heels and raised all this. She raised hundreds of dollars and all sorts of awareness. She got all sorts of media and press for the Exodus Road and for the cause of fighting against human trafficking. People are getting creative. People are taking this cause for themselves. At a concert like this in somewhere in the Midwest, near my hometown, a deputy sheriff heard us talk, and he's been overseas with me several times. And in somewhere in the South, a former special forces in the military heard us talk, and he's been overseas with me 5 times now, and he's going to move his whole family over next year. There was a girl 100 and some years ago named Amy Carmichael, and Amy had brown eyes, and she was bummed out that her little sister had blue eyes, but she had brown eyes. She wanted blue eyes. But when Amy Carmichael grew up, she was in India, and she realized there was a situation in India where 6- and 7-year-old girls were being sold for ritual reasons in Hindu temples. And this girl, Amy, she dyed her skin with coffee, and because of her brown eyes, she was able to disguise herself and go and rescue these girls out of this hell that they were in. Ordinary people. You're ordinary. I'm ordinary. I just happen to write songs for a living. You might be a teacher. You might be an artist. You might be a songwriter. You might be a physician. Whatever we already do, man, we can do in the direction of freedom. And it's a heavy burden, you know? It's a heavy thing to talk about on a Saturday night, to talk about slavery, to talk about the fact that there's more slaves today in 2016 than there has been at any other time in human history. But it's not much different than the burden of that small creature named Frodo Baggins. And when the Queen of the Elves came to Gandalf and she said, hey Gandalf, why did you choose this small creature? Why the Hobbit? Gandalf says it's in the everyday acts of ordinary creatures that we're able to keep the darkness at bay. I don't believe that we can end this thing in our lifetime, but I believe we're supposed to fight. We're supposed to carry that burden. You're ordinary, and yet you're burdened with some sort of glorious purpose. It's like a blue fire that runs through your veins. It keeps you up at night, wondering what your purpose is in all of this. And I can't answer that for you. But I know that if you move forward, regardless of the mountain on one side, regardless of the army of opposition coming down from behind and the sea in front of you, if you step forward, the waters will part like they did for Moses, and behind him came 500,000 or 1 million slaves to their freedom. So I echo the words of Isaiah the prophet in the same way that Jesus Christ from Nazareth echoed them the first time he spoke publicly that we have on record. The Spirit of the Almighty is upon me. And I come to proclaim good news for people that I pour. To proclaim liberty to the prisoner. To proclaim freedom to the captive. To proclaim a restoration of dignity to the oppressed and the downtrodden. My King cared about these girls. And he wants us to. Even when it feels like the fight isn't making any difference. Even when it feels like it's just a song, can you really do anything? It's just a song. It's just a few guys and girls living with dangerous unselfishness, like Martin Luther King Jr. said. But why hesitate to do what you want to do for hundreds and thousands of people? Why hesitate just to do it for one person? I see no reason, regardless of how heavy it is, regardless of how insignificant and inadequate I feel. We'll keep on singing. We're going to keep on going back until the King returns. The song is called Into the Starlight. It feels like the fire is making any difference. I can see the lights floating out in the distance. I can hear the bright notes over all the dissonance. Remember when the righteous rose from indifference, shattered by the grandeur. I feel insignificant, caught a glimpse of glory. Got me feeling discontent. Have I lost the purpose? Made to be magnificent. I'll scale these walls and I know you have me if I can. Under the starlight, under the starlight, from under the starlight, under the starlight. What's this I see? It's just a race for property. My God, no, this is not the way it ought to be. We'll take back daughters from the heartless. Maybe we can tear a little corner off the darkness. Diamonds and machetes, come get your own time again. Hey, lost cause, broken soul, break the whole team. Trying to break the feeling, tonight my heart is